Warning, this podcast episode contains swearing, drinking, and that's about it. That's all it is. Hope you enjoyed the episode.
Hello and welcome to Demons and Bellinis, the podcast where we whip up a drink and talk about some spooky shit. I'm the ghost haunting your pantry looking for chips. Molly.
I feel called out. And I'm the feeling of your soul leaving your body whenever the bus driver tries to flirt with you. Ashley.
Ew. Yeah, that's too real. Also gross.
I get on the bus with carrying our two bubble teas, and the bus driver holds his hand out and he's like, "Oh, you brought me a drink? How sweet!" And I just look at him like, ha ha ha, tap my card and run to the back of the bus.
Ew. Yeah, as long as I don't get a creepy vibe from them, I'm okay. Today, we will be discussing the case of Robert Johnson from down in Mississippi.
Johnson.
So grab a beverage of your choosing, get cozy, and check your closets for that one naked lady in the new It trailer. And remember, stay peachy! So my question for you is, have you ever heard of Robert Johnson?
I want to say yes, the name sounds familiar, but I can't quite put exactly where.
Okay, are you familiar at all with, music history and, blues?
I'm white, Molly.
Okay, so...
I don't mean that in a bad way, I just mean I have no taste.
So, Robert Leroy Johnson was an American blues singer, songwriter, and guitarist in the 30s, and is widely credited for being one of the people who really helped create the Delta blues style. So not a lot is known about him during his life. He only recorded about 29 songs within 2 recording sessions. Only 2 pictures of him actually exist. However, after his death, his records were released and were widely influential for blues and rock and roll. Wikipedia cited that Eric Clapton has called Johnson the most, quote, the most important blues singer that ever lived. Musicians as diverse as Bob Dylan, Keith Richards, and Robert Plant have cited both Johnson's lyricism and musicianship as key influences in their own work.
Can I ask a really dumb, stupid question?
Sure.
Did this inspire the Crossroads demons in Supernatural?
What?
I feel like we're going down. Is there Satan? Does Satan show up and is like, "Would you like to live deliciously?"
You'll see.
I want to see Satan in this story, Molly. I want to live deliciously.
In 1986, Johnson was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for being an early influencer. He was inducted during the first ceremony. He was awarded posthumous Grammy Award in 1991 for the complete recordings that...
Was this after he died?
Yes.
That must suck.
Yeah.
You know, you put all of this work into it, and then you die, and then you're just like...
Yeah, all of his records were released. I think it was, after...
I mean,
after
did he not want people to listen to it, though?
No, I mean, he was a performer. He was someone who... It was just, popularized.
Or it's those authors who write, these really great books, but when they're alive, everybody hates it, and then they die, and then everybody loves it, and it's
Van Gogh. The Impressionists.
Yeah, and it's it sucks, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was at the Vancouver Art Gallery, the VAG.
The VAG.
You were
at the VAG.
I was at the VAG. And what one of the tour guides mentioned with modern art is that oftentimes, she'll come across people who are like, "Oh, I could do that," and she says, "Yes and no. Physically, yes, you can paint that, but did you create that in the 1930s when it was,
the thing?"
No, when it was revolutionary. Yeah, when it was new.
Because you think of popular forms of art from 1850 to the 1930s, you typically think of, Victorian women elegantly lounging or titties out, that kind of stuff, which is sick. That's my thing.
Yeah. But take Cubism and Picasso head. However, the idea
I went
of
to the Picasso exhibit when it was at the VAG.
The VAG.
With my parents, and it was just how many women did he sleep with? Oh my god.
He was kind of gross. But the idea of seeing something from a 360 perspective on a 2D surface was revolutionary
cool.
at the time. And like, yes, you could physically paint that, but you didn't.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. So
it's also like the meaning behind it too.
Exactly, yeah.
It's kind of like, sure, you can paint it, but what does it mean to you?
Exactly,
Or
yeah.
it's like, sure, you can write a novel. Everybody can write a novel. But can you actually write a novel?
Should you actually write a novel?
Can you actually put that much time into writing 30,000 plus words? As someone who's written 70,000 plus words as my top word count, it's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You have to be committed to it. So it's like, yeah, you can do it, but can you do it?
Yeah, exactly. So Johnson's single Crossroad Blues was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 1998, and he was given a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 2006. In 2003, David Frick ranked Johnson 5th in Rolling Stones magazine's 100 Greatest Guitarists of All Time.
We apologize to any music fans out there.
Yeah.
Like, that just caught me off guard. It's like when you're reading a history book and somebody's name is like Asholia, and it's like, don't laugh.
It was like when I was talking about how I really want to, what's his name? Someone with the last name is buried in Paris, and I really want to visit his grave.
Give him a kiss.
I will. Do the whole Oscar Wilde thing, but on Leroy Fricker, I think. Leroy Fricker was his name.
That just makes me think of
Leonard Fricker.
That just makes me think of the Leroy Jenkins meme where it's like, Leroy!
That being said, one thing that always seems to be associated with Robert Johnson is the legend that surrounds him. While there are many different accounts of what happened and where it happened, as myths would have it, Johnson, as a young man dreaming of mastering the guitar, took his guitar down to the Crossroads, where he made a deal with the devil.
Fucking knew it! Supernatural's not created! I had a feeling because you start talking about blues music, and for some reason, like, Supernatural makes you associate blues music with Crossroads, and I was just like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is this where we're going?
We're going with Crossroads, Stevens.
Oh,
so
God.
This, I should probably preface this with saying that this was really inspired by the recent episode that Cryptid Keeper did on Crossroads Devils. Holy shit, I was like emotionally nutting throughout the entire thing because I'm so into that aesthetic.
Oh yeah, no, it is such a super cool concept, and like Supernatural did it dirty, but
Supernatural did it so dirty.
Yeah, but it's a super fascinating concept. Like, the deal with the devil, live deliciously. You get what you want, but you have to pay it. It's like the Black Window. Yeah, right, where it's like where he backed out of it, and it's like it is fascinating. It's dangerous.
Yeah. So in exchange for his soul, he was given mastery of the guitar, and thus was able to create the music that he was canonized for.
Oh.
So yeah.
Wait, did he die 20 years later?
So I want to...
Sorry, I'm going to shut up.
So I want to give a little background on Crossroads, because I thought that was a really fascinating thing that Cryptid Keeper did. So, like, listen to their episode as well. I don't want to be, like, the, like, primary source on this. I think you should do, like, a little bit more research around before just taking what we're saying.
With all of our episodes, especially when we get into real heavy, like, political stuff. For sure, do your own research. We are just two post-secondary students sitting in a bedroom talking to ourselves, like,
yeah.
You know, we're the Wikipedia. Please go check our sources.
Yeah. So there seems to be something very intriguing in the conscious mind about selling one's soul, as we discussed, and seems to have been present throughout literature for centuries. Take Faust, a figure from a German legend who's been adapted several times.
Oh, is that like Lord Faustus? Or Dr. Faustus?
Yeah. From Christopher Marlowe's The Tragical History of Dr. Faustus to Johann Wolfgang von Goethe's Faust, a tragedy. It was originally from a German legend.
Wait, was that the opera composer who Hitler had a hard-on for?
I have no idea. But I think he was,
Sorry!
I think Goethe was, previous to that, but he was German.
Yeah.
So the legend of Faust is he's like a academic who has kind of studied everything, and then he makes a deal with a demon called Mephistopheles to grant him all these powers, and then he ends up dying, I think, however many years later, after he's like, this knowledge, and it's all about
isn't that like
theological despair and
And I remember, like, in the Dr. Faustus story, that he already knew everything, and he wanted to know like everything that a human could know, but he wanted to know what the universe know, kind of thing, right? And so I remember just in the play, Satan being like, "You sure? Do you think you can handle it? Yeah. Do you think you can handle it?
Think you can handle all this?" I love Christopher Marlowe's play. I studied it in first year. It was really fun. So yeah, Faust is like super canonized. To like the extent that oftentimes crossroad deals are described as a Faustian Pact.
Oh.
Yeah. There would also there would also appear to be a tradition of this within music, as the Italian violinist Paganini was also believed to have sold his soul in exchange for his skills, and there was also another blues player called Tommy Johnson, though no relation. He was also from Mississippi as well, who was also believed to have sold his soul for skills.
I honestly feel like if the devil's gonna be anywhere, it's gonna be like Mississippi, Louisiana, those kind of places. Is that bad?
Devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal.
Well, like whenever I think of maybe it's like just that classic like American folklore where like the devil is in the South.
Yeah.
Or like New York.
It's because there seems to be a lot of
It's also like super religious down there, so just
exactly yeah. There's a lot of God-fearing
people.
Yeah, exactly. God-fearing people down there, and then that tends
what if
to
I'm devil-fearing. That sounds better. I'm scared. Count me down scared and horny. That's what Hosier's all about.
Yeah. Also, that's Bill Hader, who's going to be Richie in the new It movie.
Can I just say the casting for that's incredible?
I know. I'm so excited.
Alright, get back on topic! I can't talk to Molly about it because she's gonna get started and I'm gonna look at my clock and it's 4 hours later.
Yeah.
It's just not a bad thing. We're on a tight schedule, damn it!
We're on a tight schedule. So when it comes to Crossroads, we also see a history of legends surrounding that particular kind of location. It's like kind of like a liminal space, if you think about it, or a location that only exists for the purpose of arrivals and departures, as well as a meeting place.
It also seems like a portal in some ways.
Yes, exactly. So meaning that it can be a location where the veil is thinnest, because it's a place between another location.
Oh.
Yeah. So this pops up in Nordic religions, where Odin was worshipped at the crossroads, Greek religions, where Hermes and Hecate were worshipped, and in Brazilian mythology, where Exus was said to manifest. In the Middle Ages, criminals and those who weren't permitted to be buried in like Christian cemeteries were also buried at crossroads. There was also apparently a belief that if you were buried at a crossroads and you came back to life, you'd be too confused because there's so many roads and you won't be able to find your way back into town.
Did you know that in Vancouver, up near Kitsilano, there is a man buried in the road?
Oh, I did not know that.
On the way up to UBC. Apparently, one day, it's like in the 1800s, this man died, and he was quite a large man, like muscular, heavy build. And so they had to, I think because the road was super muddy, they had to carry the coffin, but the coffin became too heavy. So they just put him down in the middle of the road and just buried him in the road.
That's so horrible. Oh my god.
Because they couldn't carry him all the way up to the cemetery that's on the way up to UBC.
Oh no.
So they just buried him in the road. I can't remember exactly at what point it's at.
Oh no.
But yeah, that's what the hell legend
goes. That's very Vancouver-esque because like yeah, we get a lot of rain and I can easily see that happening in like April or like October.
Yeah, so they're just like, dude, we can't go any further.
That's so, oh my god.
So bad.
That is so bad. So in Haitian voodoo traditions, though it's not centralized in Haitian, it's also apparent in mythologies in areas such as Benin, Nigeria, and Togo. Papa Legba is also seen at the crossroads, where he serves as a translator between the Loa and humanity. If that name is familiar, it's because he was also a bastardized version of him was in American Horror Story Coven. But so like yeah, a note that I want to add in here was that while Papa Legba was at worst known as a trickster deity, he was warped into a demonic figure by the language that was used to describe him. Because if you don't have like a word to describe a particular figure in your mythology in the language that you're forced to use, then it's going to turn out as demon. Yeah. And then a lot of voodoo is like very warped into like a darker. I use that with quotes. Yeah. It's not. It's
definitely not something that like white witches, like not white as in like good witches, but like white skin color witches should be doing.
Yeah, also
because
like the
it was created by people who were slaves to you know, help themselves get through it and like create their own kind of religion in this place that is unknown to them. So it's like you know, unless you have a right to practicing that, you shouldn't.
That's with a lot of different religions. Like I was well, I mean, you're completely right. Like and also like the idea of white and dark like witches is very problematic.
Oh yeah.
It's so f***ing problematic and like.
Yeah, when I say white, I normally mean.
Yeah, no. I know exactly what you mean.
You know?
I know exactly what you mean. That's just like something that has been talked a lot about in the witchy community.
You see it a lot in like popular like young adult novels. Like, don't get me started on Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Or like you just, oh my god, I sound so bad. I'm so sorry to people listening. But, like, you go into the library in the young adult section, and it's, like, you see a cover that has, like, anything to do with supernatural, and it's always, like, good versus evil. And it's, like, can you write something creative?
Yeah. Even in, like, you take, like, books that are in, like, the New Age section, a lot of it has to do with black magic or white magic.
Yeah.
And that's something that we need to get rid of.
Like, the one time I wrote, like, a story about, like, this kind of, like, folklore and witchcraft, you couldn't really say, like, oh, yeah, that character is bad, or, oh, yeah, this character is good, because, like, you know, it's just all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Even that, like, creature in that one movie, that your mom.
Yeah, my mom, the ritual.
Is your mom really that bad?
She's the forest god. It's fine.
Yeah, she's doing her job. Like...
Yeah. So, yeah, just, like, wanted to put that out there. There's certainly the idea that if a religion is guarded, you should not go snooping in there. Like, like a while ago, I was trying to look into more Cree mythology that's centered around the area that my family's from. But I couldn't find anything about it online, which is probably a very good thing because I would want to learn about that from the source. And that's like something that's widely talked about in like specifically Native American mythology is that you shouldn't have that stuff online because white people are going to bastardize it. Yeah. Like they did with Papa Legba.
Yeah. Like, I love the aesthetic of American Horror Story and stuff like that, but I can't actually watch the show.
Yeah.
For, like, that reason, and also, like, it's just... It doesn't do horror right?
It doesn't, no. I've only ever watched a couple seasons, but it's just... I never got into it.
It's shock value. It's too much... It's, like, that's just all it relies on. It's, like, that you can do horror in so many other ways than just shock value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ooh, I would also like to present to you a comment that I found really funny on a Quora post asking on how to summon a demon.
Oh my god, no!
This was also from the Cryptid Keeper episode. But it's so funny. I want to read this to you so that you can, just to give you an idea on how Crossroads demons are perceived today.
Oh, no.
This comes from Haytham Ryan, a demonologist, spiritual master, and body healer.
So wait, if this person is a demonologist, why are they asking how to summon a demon?
No, this was, someone posted how to summon a demon, and this is the answer.
Holy shit. Oh, God. Oh, no. Look it, honey. Unless you have an actual degree and a certificate that says you're a demonologist, which you can get. You can get one.
Yeah. I don't know if this guy's certified or not, but the Cryptid Keeper read this aloud, and I just shit myself laughing, so I want to read this for you.
It's like going to the doctors. It's like, hey, yeah, I have a demon. I want an actual professional to get it out of my house.
There is no safety in summoning demons, especially for someone never tried it before. People whom telling you to go ahead and summon demon are just deceiving you and sending you to uncertain future. By succeeding in summoning demon, you are getting to face the darkness. No one should try such things. It is wondering that some people do not have to do with spirituality coming here and saying, go ahead and do it. Don't answer something you don't know about, otherwise you are causing damage to person who asking.
Tell me something I don't know. Oh, you know what that reminds me of? It's like that one Halloween special for Ghost Adventures like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe, I think it was 2 years ago. It might have been 1 year ago when they went down Highway 66.
Yeah.
They said it was the Highway 666 episode. Shut up. But there's this one guy and he goes to Zach and he's like, you shouldn't mess with this stuff. And it's like, it's very dangerous. It can hurt you. And Zach's just nodding like,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, do you know who you're talking to?
I'm also reading this word from word. If you're questioning why,
the grammar was bad?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, I don't blame people for bad grammar. That's like
it's just
the content that I think is funny.
It adds to the charm. My question to you is, why are you trying to summon demons? Do you know
it's still going?
Do you know how dangerous and risky this stuff could be? Did you ask the right spiritual experts about the thing you are thinking about? A weak and unstable person.
Still going.
How
is this a page long? Holy shit! It's a page long, you guys. Stop holding my hand. You're making me listen to this.
A weak and unstable person like you will be lost from the first minute the demon will manifest in front of you.
The person writing this comment's gonna need an EVP recorder to hear this person's reply because they just straight up murdered this man.
The demon will not give you any chance to correct your actions. In case you perform the right rituals and the demon gets your cause and accept it, I swear to you, your life will not be the same anymore. You will just be history. Tell me how you want to try to summon demons. What aspects or methods are you using? Is it satanic rituals?
I'm using...
Or just you are reading some fairy tale books? Are you alone? Do your parents knowing what shit you are doing?
Do your parents know?
You might not just hurt yourself, you will also hurt people around you.
It's like a police officer where it's like, do you know how fast you were summoning that demon? Snow!
The demon could choose someone from your family members according to their weakness and aura. Each demon will react according to the situation and the kinds of rituals you are performing. It also depends on your aura and mental situations.
Demon shows up like, hey girl, what's your horoscope? What's your sign?
What's your sign?
I'm sorry, I can't hang out with Tauruses.
Demons could react in many different ways. Some of it we call the silent ones are violently appearing, so it is up to you.
Silent ones?
We are losing lots of nice young kids lately for the sake of Satan by performing such evil rituals. Lots of fake and fraud paranormal experts around destroy the spiritual concepts, leading to such behavior from young, naive kids.
All those damn kids listen to their fucking pop music and the devil's whispering in their ears. Fucking Satan and the gays. All there's gay in hell turning all the demons gay.
Most answers I'm seeing around is nearly the same, and everyone wants to be paranormal expert. By reading some fairy tale stories and watching some movies will not make anyone demonologist or paranormal expert.
I feel called out.
Even the whole concepts and knowledge humans have these days are away from the reality of spirituality and demonology. False explanations, fake theories, evil rituals are spread. People think by reading some books written by someone calling him paranormal expert, or just by reading some articles.
Do you think he's just subtweeting Zach Bagans?
I think so. Or just reading some articles from the net about demons will make them experts. But they are doing fatal mistake by thinking so. It's our responsibility towards the human race to explain this knowledge correctly in order to protect the innocents from the satanic influences.
Why are you so mad?
And to heal their demonic origins illness. Again, if humans try to summon or call spirits, you will just attract the evil ones. They are ready to get your calls. Don't bring them to your dimension. End comment.
Did he literally write end comment?
No.
Oh.
But what did you think about that?
Wow.
I know that's a lot, but it made me laugh.
Zach Bagans just like at me next time.
Zach Bagans found murdered in his own home.
I can't laugh, it hurts.
We are losing lots of nice young kids these days to satanic influences.
Look it, honey, I don't know if you've heard about this little trend on the internet, but it's called monster and we don't care about evil. I mean, it would be so tragic if a vampire just happened to walk by and, just sank its fangs into my neck. Oh, how bad that would be. Oh no, here comes Satan.
That's what I'm worried about with the new It trailer, is the return of the clown
Here comes Satan. Oh no.
What is that like to live deliciously?
No one else is delicious? There's nothing.
So, back to the story. Like I alluded to before, there isn't really a concrete story here, and it has been warped into like somewhat of a folktale. So just to go over it again, Robert Johnson, as a young black man from the South, dreamed of becoming a great musician, but didn't have the resources to become one, nor the talent, according to the tale. He came from a family of 11 children coming out of the Great Depression, and if the tale is correct, becoming a musician could have been a way for him to get out of this rut. Allegedly at 19, in 1930, at a juke joint in Robinsonville, Mississippi, along with other Delta blues players, Son House and Willie Brown, Robert picked up a guitar and, according to Son House, he started to play it and be just noising the people, you know? And the folks, they'd come out and say, why don't some of y'all go down and make that boy put that thing down? He running us crazy. Frustrated, he took his guitar down to the Crossroads. Most stories cite this as Highway 49 and 61 in Clarksville, Mississippi, where a monument had later been constructed. But other locations such as Rosedale at the crossroads of Highway 1 and 8 have also been named. There, he met a tall man who tuned and played his guitar. When he gave the guitar back to Johnson, he had acquired his talents, drawing in the crowds everywhere he went. Another version of the tale has the devil waiting at the crossroads with a hellhound. When the hellhound bit into the strings of Robert's guitar, it sounded bluesy, thus inspiring him to strike a deal. As the legend goes, the next time Son House saw Robert Johnson, a year later, he was playing with techniques he'd never seen before, playing the guitar as if it were, quote, a piano, with a 7th string strung onto his guitar. At the age of 27, Robert Johnson died of an alleged poisoning from a jealous husband who was sleeping with his wife, which is where perhaps the story tends to cite that the devil's trickery had won. Mm. And so I think when we're considering the story, we have to examine the time in which it takes place. They're coming out of the Great Depression, and blues is beginning to emerge as a popular genre. The blues was invented in the Deep South in the U.S. in the 1870s, gaining its roots from black musicians blending rock with African musical traditions. For a lot of individuals, it was the music of the devil. It brought people into bars who drank, danced, and sinned. And it was the background music for what would be perceived to be as unholy by those who feared God, naming the blues genre as the devil's music.
Was that also a racist tactic?
Yes, 100%.
Because it's like, you know, you still see this a lot too, where a lot of white people will discredit black musicians. And, you know, this just sounds like another way of being like, oh, he had learned it from the devil. He's a sinner. And it's just, that feels icky.
Yep.
I mean, the legend sounds really cool, but I think we have to look at it in its historical
That's
context.
exactly what I was about to get into. So blaming Robert's talent on the work of the devil makes, like, a morbid amount of sense if you think about it. Not to mention how it takes credit away from his talent from Johnson instead of blaming it on, like, blasphemous acts.
Yeah.
Yeah, people also, like, cite that Johnson referred to his deal throughout his musical career, like his discography, most famously with his song Crossroad Blues, where he sings, I went down to the crossroad, fell on my knees, and asked the Lord above for mercy, save me if you please. Other titles include Me and the Devil Blues, Hellhound on My Tail, and If I Had Possession Over Judgment Day. Like, yes, one can interpret Crossroad Blues as a confession of sorts, but upon closer analysis of the lyrics, it's also interpreted about being a black man from the South and all the challenges that he faces. Yeah. And so, yeah, I think, like you said, we really need to examine, like, the implications of that.
Yeah, instead of just being like, yeah, it's a demon.
Yeah. But then, like, on the other hand, it kind of created, like, a very interesting cycle where his music was almost gained a second life because he had this folktale surrounding him. Yeah. But then it also discredits him. So on the one hand, it adds to the charm of his music, but, like, on the other hand, it discredits him. So we really need to examine that and be careful about the way that we talk about this legend.
Yeah, or at least just, like, if you are going to talk about it, at least be like, we also have to keep in mind, like, this is could be used as a way to discredit people. Yeah. But, you know, it's still fun to talk about it.
Yeah. No, it was 200% a way to discredit him, and that's really gross. Because, like, yeah, he was a really talented guy. We look back on like the awards that he has, that he like inspired. He is one of the founding fathers of rock and roll, because blues it's the beginning of rock and roll. I guess is a way to say it. I can't really.
Which really got like hijacked by white musicians, which is like one of the things that, like, I mean, going back to Hozier, is that Hozier acknowledges that his style of music is not his. He, like, his style of music came from black musicians, and he is like, hey, I didn't start this. Here are musicians who did. Go listen to them. Yeah. So it's like, I feel like the music industry still has a long way to go.
200%, yeah.
Yeah.
And even, like, I mean, like, when you think about, like, the fathers of rock and roll, you take Johnny Cash, you take, like, Elvis Presley, you don't hear about names like Robert Johnson.
Yeah, you just hear white dudes.
Exactly, yeah.
Gross.
And all of the men, like, I can't even think about, I guess I could think about a couple, but, like, female musicians that inspired rock and roll, which is a different issue in itself, and I feel like I shouldn't take away the focus of what we're discussing here, but I just wanted to point that out. But yeah, so that's my case.
Interesting.
So yeah, would you have a Bellini with Robert Johnson?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it'd be cool to be like, hey, did you really do it?
Yeah.
Did you really? Was he sexy?
he apparently every like town that he stayed in, he had a new woman in his bed.
I was talking about
a
Satan.
new woman. Oh, okay. Well, Satan too. One of these days, Satan is just gonna come knocking on your door, like, "Hey, I heard you wanted to."
My like if I was to make a movie about like Satan-y things, and I had to cast someone to play Satan, I would either cast Luke Evans, or maybe Idris Elba, or Jason Momoa.
Yeah. Oh, Jason Momoa.
I feel like he could play a good Satan.
Yeah. Either way, Satan is sexy. Well, yeah, like, remember, like, we were talking about, how, like, sometime in the Catholic Church
Charlize
history.
Theron.
In Catholic art history, people were, like, depicting Satan as really sexy, and they're like, hey, maybe can you not?
Can you guys, like, tone it down, you horny bastards?
Yeah. Catholicism is so horny.
It's very horny.
They went hard with those acoustics.
Yeah, they went hard.
So, my other question for you is, if you sold your soul to the devil, what would you sell it in exchange for?
Oh. I would want to be, okay, this has been this, like, I would want to be one of those people, I would want to be like Stephen King. Okay. But without the drugs. Yeah. And alcohol. Where it's like, I want to just be like an insanely famous author, like George R. Martin, or, not J.K. Rowling, she just dug her own grave.
She did.
She dug her own grave in Dumbledore BDSM porn. But you know, like, I would want to be like one of those like really famous authors whose books get turned into like movies and stuff like that, and I would want to have a part in like writing the screen plays and like directing it and stuff like that. Because like the way I write is like I see it in my head like it's a movie playing, and I just write what I see. So, you know, I would love to be one of those authors who, you know, gets a movie or multiple movies. Yeah. I want to be rich, but I want to be able to do the work to be rich. Yeah. And that's then, very smart. Go out in a really, like, dumbass way. Because I know that Satan's coming for me anyway, so just, like...
He's coming for your butt.
I'll, like, run out into the street just fully nude, like, I'm ready, and I'll do that, like, drag move where it's just like, come at me!
She just spread her legs.
I just threw myself on the floor and threw my legs over my... I can do the jump into the splits now.
Oh, don't do it here.
No, I won't do it here, but I can do it.
Oh, that's so good.
I might have been practicing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can do it. Yeah. I can't do a death drop yet, but that's I think
that's very smart, because we think about people just going like, oh, I want unlimited money, I want to be a millionaire. No, that would destroy the economy.
I want to work for my money. If we're gonna if we're still gonna have capitalism, I at least want to work for money and earn my money in a way that I enjoy. You know. What about you?
I would want to have mastery in any skill, I think. Be able to like immediately master any given task that I can do. Because one thing that I really desire in life is financial stability.
Like most people.
like most Gen Z millennial children people.
Like most
people.
Most youngins who are depressed these days.
Yeah. I don't need to be rich. I just want to be financially comfortable and not have to worry about finances for the rest of my life.
I would like to be financially stable enough to go on a vacation once or twice a year. Mm-hmm. Like my parents.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
let us know in the comments what you would want.
Yeah.
What would you sell your soul for?
Tweet at us. I would sell my soul for a good Bellini.
Bellini. I'd sell my soul for a good Bellinis. So what we learned from this episode is that
Ashley's horny for Satan.
Yeah, get my boyfriend to dress up in a red suit and a tail and horns.
I'll text him right now.
Please, don't.
I don't know where my phone is. I'll text him later.
Oh, God. Molly? Because he'd do it, and you know he would.
I know he would. Her boyfriend's great. He's a good friend of mine, too. So yeah, that's our episode. Support us on Coffee. Reminder that after next week's episode, we're taking a break.
Yeah, the episode after this one, so my episode,
yes,
is our last one. We will be back in late August.
Yeah, maybe mid-August, depending on how fast I can edit.
Maybe September.
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll let you know closer to the date, but there's going to be a bit of a gap there. So we're going to be back sexier than ever for season 2. We have some exciting things in store for you.
Yep.
Some very exciting things. So yeah, let us know.
Y'all remember Victorian era hentai? I want to put that on a shirt.
I'm still trying to figure out how we can do that. Oh, that would be so much fun. Anyway, yeah, stay sexy, guys.
Stay spicy.
Yeah. And think about the way that you talk about tales. And, keep in mind the times that they happen in. Sorry, I can't articulate myself. A little bit drunk. But, yeah.
And if you're gonna sell your soul, make sure it's worth it.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in this week, and we hope that you enjoyed the episode. This episode features the voices of Molly Lorette and Ashley Smith. Our theme music was composed and produced by Larry Lorette. Our cover image was designed by Ashley Smith, and sound editing was done by Molly Lorette. Have any comments, concerns, or cases you want us to cover? Email us at demonsandbellinis@gmail.com. You can also find us at Demons and Bellinis on Tumblr, Demons and Bellinis on Instagram, and at DBellinis on Twitter. That's capital D and capital B. You'll also be able to find case pictures tweeted out there and posted to our Instagram. Also, make sure that if you like what we do here, drop us a donation at Coffee, which you can find through our Twitter. Thanks again, and we hope that you keep your ears open.